Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Friday weekly race for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. My name is Natara, and I will be one of your two commentators for this evening, with the other being Casual Geek Dave.
Hello, everyone.
And we will have Neon Gray as our wonderful tracker for tonight, so this should be a pretty exciting race. I think we're just about ready to get started. I'm just gonna wait for the, I'm the one holding the race, so I'm...
No worries. While you're getting started, I'll quickly go over our flags for tonight's race. The flags that we're using for tonight's race is the same flags that will be used for our league matches that are also starting tonight at 9 on RPG Limit Break. The main thing to note is the use of the K2 flag, which will have key items in randomized key item locations, but also in trapped treasure chests and possibly in the summon spots and lunar subterranean boss spots.
Yeah, I can definitely up the challenge rating a little bit for it because you need to hunt things around, and especially where we're doing what's called no free lunch flags. For those who are new to this, it means there's no free lunch thing, so you can't go to an area or location and have a character or a key item just waiting for you. You have to actually provide a key item in order to get, or fight a boss in order to get a new character or item. So what that means for us is, since we're going to have to fight some extra bosses for key items, one key item will be locked away behind, or a potential item could be locked behind the Mist Dragon, which is added into this particular set of flags, which can make this pretty exciting. I think
Most
we're
definitely.
just waiting to get started here. I'm being advised that apparently I yell at kids, which is not a lie. I did that on stream once because I'm a monster.
It's true.
But yeah, as Dave mentioned, these are the same flags that'll be done for the league, including the race tonight at 9 p.m. So if our racers are particularly great, we can have a nice double header. Though the 9 o'clock race will be over at RPG Limit Break, so you will have to swap channels. But it's a night filled with free enterprise, so if that's a thing you love and enjoy, then please let us be together in watching all of this amazing stuff.
One of the other things of note is that this is using the J1 flag, so the battle commands and spells from the Japanese version of Final Fantasy IV will be omitted.
Yes, which they can add some interesting things to the strategy, especially for some of the bosses, but generally speaking, they don't add as much as just the J items alone. The items were changed quite a bit from the original version. So it gives quite a lot of extra items, which, if the key ones are found, really make quite a difference for this. But where we do only have S2, meaning the shops will not carry as much in the way of stuff, that could really limit what we get, even with the J items. So definitely curious to see what this seed is going to throw at us.
Yeah, with the variables in play, this can definitely promise to possibly be a very challenging run.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes, hey, we could get one of those jet seeds, or we could get one where the very last boss on the moon is the Mist Dragon, who happens to have the crystal, or the items required to get to the crystal, as I saw in one seed once. Because tears.
Yeah, and we also are working without the Wyvern flag, so if any of our runners run into Wyvern, it is going to be a very challenging boss.
Yes, that's one thing I did notice when I plugged in the flags. I was like, yeah, because that initial attack from the Wyvern just absolutely annihilates. It is, it's one-shot death. So unless you can get your speed up high enough in order to get a few actions before that original move, Wyvern can really just block your progress. So here's hoping nobody finds Wyvern. Oh, we have been given the go, so our runners will be starting in about 5 seconds.
All right, let's get started.
I love it. Sound just kicked in for our restream, so it sounds fabulous.
All right, and we are started. So we know that our runners are going to be starting with Rosa. Let's see who else they'll be getting. Looks like
Edward. Boo. Oh, and Kainazo is hiding in Baron Castle, which they were just provided with the Baron key. So that is one of the first places they now have access to that's locked behind a key item.
One of the things that's interesting about that opening key item is that it does give them room to get another character early on, so that could be beneficial.
It does, provided that they are strong enough to fight those bosses. What's interesting about this randomizer is when the bosses move to a new spot, they tend to take the stats of those spots. So Kainazo will be vaguely easier than usual, being in one boss spot earlier than he's usually hiding, but it's certainly interesting. So one of the things they're going to be doing, they have the T3 flags on, which means they have pretty decent treasures, though not the top ones. So they're going to be running around looking for items, because shops are not going to have super great things. So they're going to have to be counting on treasures to get good items and good treasure.
It definitely is a very commonplace for a flag like this to see several runners run through like the town of Baron and several other places to secure themselves some decent treasure and hopefully some items to help them out early on.
Yeah, unlike that iron armor that they picked up, which was not particularly helpful, sadly.
Not too great.
No, but you take what you get, and there are some important items in the item shop, such as those life potions that Kobahi found, and I'm sure some of the others in the item shop. They can be used, well, not only just to bring your characters back to life, but as a way to grind up your party later in the game, taking advantage of the one glitch which still works in glitchless mode that they're in, which is the vitality glitch. So by using those life potions on an enemy after they've died, if you set it up correctly, you will get extra experience, because that enemy will basically come back to life and immediately die. So you definitely want to see those life potions early.
Life potions definitely very useful. The Cure 2 potions in their own right are not terrible, depending on what other items they find. If they some of the bosses are weak against the curative items, so that can be useful. And
just good for party curing when you're this early on. Yeah, when you do have a white mage, but Rosa's not very strong at this point. So until we get some levels, and especially when we have a, in my opinion, useless party member such as Edward, you definitely want something to help keep you alive, and maybe him alive, maybe.
I feel like Edward is even especially more useless with Rosa in the party, because best case scenario, you can maybe put a decent bow on him, but there's just really no reason to do that with Rosa around.
Yeah. So many of what the racers are doing is they're running to the locations which have a high percentage of treasure chests for them to open, again, looking for those good items. But Doctor of Spin is doing what is starting to be a fairly common move, which is going immediately to Mount Hobbs to see what character is there. Because while you do have to fight a boss to be able to keep that character, generally speaking, it is a lower level boss. And since it's the king and queen of Eblin in this case, and Yang is there, who is someone we want, you can just sit there and cure yourself, and they will eventually kill themselves.
We got ourselves a freebie, and they're getting Yang for their trouble. Not too bad.
And as is being pointed out in chat, they did pick up a dancing dagger in Baron. So when put on Edward, especially this early in the game, when the dancing dagger is equipped and then used as an item, it is really quite incredibly powerful and acts as a magic attack. So at this point in the game, that is pretty incredibly useful.
Dancing Dagger strats are oftentimes seen in Paladin percent runs and other Final Fantasy IV speed runs. So those familiar with that are pretty quick to put that on Edward.
Absolutely. Now, we might see some of we've seen some of our racers come to places like Mist early on. And you're going to see some of our runners, though, skipping Mist because there's not a lot of items there. There is no item shop. And there is an item or two which could bring you to Mist later. So some runners like to leave Mist until they have to go there rather than checking it early.
Great White taking the chance to stop by Troya to check out the item shops and raid chests. Scratch Dragon is going through Kaipo, doing a quick run. Notice that Dark Knight Cecil is behind the Sand Ruby item at Kaipo.
Yeah, Cecil is a bit of an iffy character depending on who you are and what items you pick up, because one of the big manipulations you work on in this game has to do with your party speed through the use of agility anchors, so which is a character's relative agility. So the way it works is either one character who is in the middle position, which is the top priority spot, it uses their agility, or if Cecil is in your party, it uses Cecil's agility. So unless you have really good items, it's not always a good call to pick up Cecil. If you get some really fabulous equipment, though, you don't always want to miss Cecil, though. It can be incredibly powerful, so see how they go with the Cecil, no Cecil options.
And in the case of getting Cecil, depending on item selection, they have to be very careful because you can get a really fast zero miss in a hurry if you overlevel them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they may not even get the item required to get him. Like, they may not find the Sand Ruby in order to get him there. Ooh, finding Coffins, Exit, and Star Veils in Silveria, all of which are excellent items.
Definitely a great pickup.
Yeah, so a lot of the things in this particular randomizer have been changed from the vanilla version. So, like, in the vanilla version, you always have Cecil. So, Boardface, our main programmer, has done a lot of kind of background work on things like that. So, making it so there is a background calculation for when Cecil's not in the party. It's excellent.
Dr. Spin making their way down to the Antlion Cave, so we should see here in just a moment if there is a key item waiting for us down there.
Yeah, Antlion Cave is often a early place to go because where the boss sits, an early boss, it's fairly easy to defeat, generally speaking. Generally, no matter who your party members are, who the boss is, you're pretty safe. Plus, there's just a high percentage of treasures in there, which can help a lot.
Especially the items they've gotten so far, should be relatively easy to take care of.
Absolutely. Ooh, putting a power staff on Rosa. Down with Doctor of Spin. And we've got Scratch Dragon seems to be the last person going to get there, Yang. But very good call to go there. So, about to see who our next boss is going to be in the Antlion Cave.
Scratch Dragon burning a Grimoire to Bahamut down the King and Queen of Avalon.
So Grimoire is a J item, which just summons a random summon. So it's good luck to get Bahamut there. Oh, and it's the Baron Guard fight in
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, yeah, that's really easy fight. It's the fight before Yang when you're revisit Baron Town in the vanilla game. So not a difficult fight. These guards can be a little annoying because they like to throw status ailments at you, but otherwise easy peasy, and Doctor of Spin cleaning that out quickly. Kopahi likely to follow.
Yeah, the Dancing Dagger will easily make quick work of them, and because it's being used as an item, it doesn't trigger their counterattack.
Yeah.
And getting an Avenger Sword for their trouble.
Ooh, excellent sword.
No key item found down here.
No, but the Avenger is a really great sword. One of the kind of status elements we like to take advantage of in this randomizer is Berserk. An Avenger, which can be equipped by either Kane or Cecil, is automatic Berserk. So that can be incredibly helpful, especially if you get the crystal armor for Cecil, which generally negates Berserk. The Berserk on the Avenger sword still works with that armor. So if they can find that armor as well, they are definitely going to want Cecil.
Invitation chat made a very good point that does make Cecil a much more attractive pickup if they do pick up the Sand Ruby.
Yeah, it absolutely does. So, or just makes Kane even more OP if you do find Kane somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Especially early game, Kane with an Avenger is very good.
Yeah, and especially with all the Dragoon gear, which was in Damsian. I love it. Kobahi is running around Tiny.
Tiny running out of the cave.
Yep. So one thing that a few people are doing differently about Damsian is most folks have gone there just to loot because there is quite a bit of treasure there. But not everyone did choose to pick up the hovercraft right away. Because depending on how the seed goes, they may not need it, though most seeds I find do in some way or another. It's really generally in the randomizer not useful until you get the hook, though, in any case. So whether you get it now or summon it when you require it is kind of runner preference.
Dr. Spin now making their way over to Fabul to possibly take on the Fabul Gauntlet spot.
Yeah, well, Kopahi is in a shop selling a lot of his items, which is really smart. You get just inundated with so many items in this game, so it is a really good idea to clear it out often, and especially in a seed like this where you cannot glitch your money, you do want to just sell whatever you can to get some money for when you do find those good items.
Yep, inventory management's very important. Last thing you want to run into is getting kind of stopped in your tracks when you can't pick up items because your inventory's full.
Yeah, and no, Crystal Armor cancels Berserk completely, but not the Auto Berserk, which comes with Avenger. Oh, and we have the elements in the Fabul Gauntlet. Generally speaking, not super challenging in this spot. So that's good as well.
Dare I say, easy peasy.
Yeah, there are some bosses which, depending on where you find them, become absolutely murderous. There's nothing like a late-game Dark Knight Cecil to make you cry a lot.
Yeah.
You think it's like, oh, it's Dark Knight Cecil, whatever, easy. Not so easy later game. When he's doing like 1,000 damage every Dark Wave, you cry a little, not just on the inside.
Yeah, I believe his Dark Wave is dependent on his HP. Yeah. And so in a higher level boss spot, that just makes it lethal.
Yeah, it does. Okay, let's see what key item they get there. Oh, the
Twin Harp.
Love the Twin Harp. So there's a couple of different edits that Boardface has made to the game for this randomizer, which are completely cosmetic. They're absolutely just for fun. And one of them has to do with the Twin Harp, in that the music which plays when that Twin Harp is used is completely randomized. So for things that he has programmed into the game. So you can get a lot of different musics from there. So it's a fun game if folks do follow that thread to see what song the Twin Harp's going to play today.
Never know what it's going to be. It can
always fabulous.
Yeah, be something from Final Fantasy VII's battle music to pirate music from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Has been removed or will be removed, unfortunately.
Oh, has it?
There were some issues where VODs were getting muted because of it, so we're like, might as well just remove it.
Yeah,
but yeah, at one point, the Pirates of the Caribbean theme was also in here. Yeah, I've heard many different video game themes. Whoa! Getting the not-so-nice fight there with on Scratch Dragons, but taking good use of that Stardust, which is one of the J items, which uses a Comet, which is, as you can see, very effective. Unlike Edward, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find that because there's certain ways to go through these seeds, and what key items you get does definitely help determine where you go, but sometimes you get later game items, or you get key items which you can't really use yet, or not as effectively. So there's kind of a starting chain you go through, and it helps get you levels. One of the flags allows it so your party, not only do they not share experience with each other, so if someone's dead, it doesn't change how much experience everyone gets. You get extra experience because of that. So it means everyone levels much faster. So it works really well to go through and fight a bunch of bosses in a row and then start following some of the chains. So yeah, it means often folks tend to go the same places for a while, but depending on what key items you get, the routes can definitely diverge.
And Kobahi being the first one to face the Baron in boss.
Oh, Ogopogo.
Ogopogo. This is
yeah, it's a mean
one
boss.
of the more difficult lunar subterranean bosses to face in this spot. But at least fortunately we'll have somewhat low HP.
Yeah, which helps a little because the big wave that he uses is max HP based, but it can be quite difficult to keep your party cured up for that. And there is a second hidden boss immediately after Ogopogo, which is there instead of the character who is sitting there. So they transform into whoever the hidden boss is. So even if we get through Ogopogo, which Kobahi did, you don't know who the next boss is. Oh, it's Antlion, never mind. So Antlion is another boss who can get a little mean, because he is programmed to counter physical attacks, but yeah, that seems to not be a problem here.
Yeah, that dancing dagger,
yep.
Easy peasy.
Used as an item, it counts as a magic attack, so it's pretty great. What is free enterprise, you ask? Let's see if this... is this a thing? No. Darn. I'm sure there's a command which will more properly explain it. Yeah, basically it's just a randomizer. It's a Final Fantasy IV randomizer where you start with the airship.
There we go.
Oh, that's what it was. I went too complicated. Too many letters. So yeah, all the bosses and characters are shuffled around. Another grimoire being burnt, but a smart idea. Oh, not so good for
wiping.
Yeah, bad place to wipe because unfortunately it does mean that he will have to fight Ogopogo again. Yeah, Antlion can be a jerk. Doctor of Spin looks to be just heading straight into Baron Castle, which is what access you gain from having the Baron key. So that's not a bad idea either.
Well, they saw Yang in that spot and just noped right out. Hopefully they don't forget that that could possibly be a key item spawn as well.
It's a hook! So hook is one of those items which can be just so key important because the hook is what you use to pick up your hovercraft. So it can give you early access to the underground, which can be your only way to the underground depending on how the items work.
Also is another character spot, so that can also come into play for some runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's go fishing.
Dr. Spin being ambushed by the turtle.
Yeah.
Ready to face Kinazo in the vanilla spot.
Yeah, or the almost vanilla spot.
That's true.
Yeah, no, and a good point did get... Yeah, a good point did get brought up in chat. All of these runners did pick up, or all the ones who went to Damsian did pick up a Moon Veil. Now, the Star Veils and Moon Veils are both items which were Japanese items, and while they both do introduce wall to the character they're used on, Moon Veil also makes the party member completely immune to physical. So for fights like Antlion, that is, and where you have to fight in a physical manner, Moon Veil is incredibly useful, and it does look like that is what Scratch Dragon has done, looking at those misses happening to Rosa currently.
And Kobahi, interestingly, decided not to go through Baron and has decided to go through Eblon Cave instead.
Yep.
Get another character and possibly move on to the underground.
Yeah, noticing that Kobahi's not opening any of the chests, the reason is there is exactly one trap chest in Eblon Cave. So if you are not strong enough, you're safe to completely run through and get the character, but you might not want to risk getting those treasure chests just yet. So let's see who his free character is. Oh, it's Palom. How nice.
At this point in the game, definitely a good secure for them. Once they get some levels on Palom and start unlocking the virus and quake spells, he'll definitely be very useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scratch Dragon getting Antlion down. So unfortunately, you cannot actually acquire duplicate characters. So all you're getting is the hook there. But again, the hook may be a required item. The hook's also required for turning in the rat tail if you find it to get another key item. So definitely see what happens. And yeah, Palom can be it actually is an incredibly powerful black mage. So good character to have, especially when you get a level or two on him.
Looks like Kobahi just want to get the character, so they're
Smart.
opting out of finishing the Eblon Cave. Probably going to make their way back to Baron or Deals.
Yeah.
Likely Baron.
Yeah, and definitely a good plan once you get access to extra characters, especially when you only have a few, and one of them, generally speaking, not the greatest in terms of Edward. It is a good idea to go and grab that character and then come back, because you will go through things much faster that way, just having a stronger party. So yeah, right now, yeah, no one has access to Cecil currently. You do need the Sand Ruby in the one spot where we know Cecil's available. Oh, and Dr. Spin going around and looking for items throughout Baron before moving on to the second boss, which is also smart. Did find a Siren, which is going to be potentially very useful for a battle or two of leveling a little later.
Scratch Dragon now making their way to Eblon Cave.
Yeah. Now, one funny thing I discovered about when you have to trade out items, like you see Dr. Spin doing, you don't have to just one-for-one swap. You can swap out multiple items. So if your inventory is filled and you know you've got a lot of garbage, you can just go into that menu and just start shoving up to 8 items into that spot, and they'll just throw them out, which is definitely pretty fun.
Yeah, some experienced runners can do that pretty fast on the spot.
You tend to learn with some amount of play quickly what items are garbage and what ones you might want to hang on to for potential future characters, and which ones you just want to get rid of no matter what. Yeah, go ahead.
Did not see a safety save from Dr. Spin, so I hope this boss fight works out for them.
Well, it's a moon boss. Let's see which moon boss it is. Unfortunately, all the moon bosses on the map just look the same. So until you get in there, you don't know. Oh, Pale Dim, that's not bad.
Not too bad.
Plus some other scrub. Vitasia, please. Yes, so 9 p.m. Eastern, there will be the first qualifier race. It's a 4-person race over on RPG Limit Break. So we're hoping this match will be finished by then so we can all go and watch. We'll see how it goes. It should be exciting either way. Do we have twin harping happening? I see harps in chat. Are you getting me excited, Vitasia? I don't like it. Ooh, and Great White Hope is in Eblin Castle, which is good for items, but again, it's got I think 3 or 4 trap chests, so it can be quite scary. But using the Hourglass 3 item is a stop item, which only works on random encounters, which these Mad Ogres are, so he can now take his time.
Definitely a great play by Great White, and just get another one checked off the list.
Yeah, and the folks racing at 9 o'clock are Elmegus, Muppets in Space, Supremacy, and F. Coughlin. Okay, so let us see. Oh, we have an Ordeals play. So that can be a really good play for multiple reasons. There is 1 key item on top of there. You do have to fight 3 bosses to get it, but that is extra experience. Plus, there's a few items here. And by completing Ordeals, you do turn Cecil into a paladin, and you unlock all of Tella's spells. But that doesn't help Fusuya if we do find Fusuya, as this is the F2 flags. Or the whichever letter 2. Yeah, it is F2. Yes, remembered it. So yeah, F2 means
it will help in that at least the boss defeated count will go up towards Fusuya getting his strength up.
Yeah, so in F2, for every boss you defeat, he only starts with 6 spells and like 500 HP, but for every boss you finish, he will gain 100 HP and 3 more spells. So you have to fight enough bosses to unlock all of his stuff. In F1, clearing our ordeals will also unlock all of his gear, and he starts with like 900 HP. So,
we got Shura on top of ordeals. A little bit of RNG involved here could be challenging.
Yeah, well, it's not just RNG. You can actually manipulate Ashura if you know how, that she will only ever cast life rather than any of the other cure spells, but it does require attacking her only on the certain face phase. You can also, if you have it, use wall strats, because if you can get a wall on her, she will bounce all of her cure spells back. And if you have multiple star veils or moon veils, you can use one on yourself and then use it again to bounce a wall onto her, which also helps. So, but I don't think they have many of those. So we're going to see who does or does not know how to do that manip, and if they can just do enough damage and kill her before she cure 4s.
It looks like they're just trying to power through it here using Bacchus and Dancing Dagger. And we're about to see what Baron's key item is, if it has one.
Yeah.
And Sandruby.
Speaking of Cecil. So when it comes to key items, if you have a full inventory, you must take it even if you don't want it. This does unfortunately include the dark matter item, which can be found around. While not really a key item, the game thinks it is. So once it is in your inventory, even though this item literally has no use, it is stuck there. So that's not so fun.
The only saving grace there is that it at least stacks. So if you find multiple, you'll
And speaking of finding, guess who they just found on Mount Ordeal?
Our good old friend Derek Mist.
Derek Mist. So the reason finding the Mist Dragon is so important. Oh my God, Grimoire, please.
Mist on Mist Dragon.
No, stop the Mist on Mist violence. So in No Free Lunch, like we're doing, since you don't get all the free, since you don't get a free key item from Edward, they needed to add another spot where you could acquire a key item. So what was programmed in is, in this set of flags, when you defeat the Mist Dragon, you can go back to Mist and Rydia's mom will be there. And if you speak to her, she will provide you with a key item. So, that is an excellent find. So sometimes you literally have to go hunting for the Mist Dragon because that is where the item you need is hiding. Scala, do not make me come over there. But yeah, Mist Dragon is another one of those bosses which later on can be a pain. It's strong against Holy, actually absorbs Holy, so if you use spells like Meteo on Mist Dragon, you will cure the Mist Dragon, which is awful. And it still turns into its Mist form every few turns, so if you're not fast enough, it's a bit of a pain.
Also, I think we kind of briefly overlooked, I believe in Baron Castle, Dr. Spin picked up Fusuya.
Ooh, yes, I did see that.
Great pickup this early.
That is such a good pickup. Fusuya is one of the best characters in the game. The reason being is they have both white and black magic. And even if you don't have all of the spells early on, since you're going to be fighting bosses anyways, you pretty quickly acquire his spell list. So it is randomized per each seed what order his list of spells comes back in, but all of these runners will receive these back at the same, receive the spells in the same order. So that is incredibly great, especially since he gets more spells than Tella as well, though he is a little slow, so you don't want to depend on him as your main white or black magic dealer for Zeromus unless you have to. but very excellent character. My god, Miss Dragon, please.
Yeah, our old friend Derek Miss putting up a fight.
Yeah, that's what Derek does. So, Kabahi going to get his key item now. Now, because I do want to note that the P flag, so should we talk about the pass?
Ah, the pass, my old friend.
Because it is P1, and what that means is the item has been... The pass item already existed in the game, but it's been repurposed that once you acquire it, you can turn it into Roya in the same place you would in the vanilla game, but instead of going to a secret room, you will be able to go straight to Zeromus. And in this particular set of flags, it's actually mixed in with the rest of the key items rather than finding it in a shop. So they are hoping to find that in their hunt for key items.
Yep. 100% less scandalous dancers, 100% more easy trip to Zeromus.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the person who has to take the darkness crystal in the big whale and walk all the way through, though let's be real, we've all done it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Mylon Z hiding one spot back. Fell into the deep ravine, fell into the Pally Cave.
Those white arrows going to definitely be useful here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and whoever is in the Dark Knight Cecil spot is an absolute pushover. This is one of those kind of nerf spots that just goes, hey, what up, die? So who is the Rubicante boss? I miss seeing that, honestly. Only one person has gone down there, and I don't remember who it was. Yes, it was Evil Wall.
I do believe it was Evil Wall.
It was Evil Wall. Now that you say it, it triggered the memory. So that's another person getting the hook. Ooh, and it looks like we got the Luca key from Man Ordeals, which is not yet useful until someone goes into the underworld. It does mean they have the dreaded access to the sealed cave, which nobody wants.
That's true. But that is at the very least one key item that they don't have to find in a treasure chest.
It is. And why would they want to get some more key items?
Well, there is a great part about the experience acceleration in this, in that once they hit 10 key items, the experience gained is doubled.
Yeah, and that can be used to very great use when it comes to grind. So while you don't want to get too many items you don't need, they can be really helpful. Speaking of grinding in the Luca key, though, the sealed cave can occasionally be an excellent spot for grinding, as those trapdoors do provide a lot of experience.
Yeah. One of the most common places is using the Siren key item in a very small portion on the west side of the underground that summons a dragon egg that with the 10 key items gets used. Oh, Massive Man. At least it's a nice item if we find that.
Good item, just not key. So Miss Dragon was not required.
Not required.
Yeah.
But the egg fight down there providing 68,000 experience if we have the Siren items to do it. Otherwise, many opt to do the Luca Cave or the Sylph Cave instead.
And where we are where we're on S2, which is the lower shops, I'm not sure whether sirens are available in S2. Someone can please advise me, because I can't confirm. I know they're definitely available in S3, but I'm not sure that they're available in S2.
I think they're available, but not guaranteed.
Okay.
I could be mistaken on that.
Yeah, it's yes, Natara is the female commentator. Hello. So either way, if they can, I know they've all, or most of them have picked up at least one siren, so they can potentially just kill one of those eggs, which is still quite a bit of experience. So we'll still hope they all find sirens. Okay, they're rare, but they are available. Thank you for that clarification, Supremacy.
Yeah. Trenton GL also pointing out it can also be in a block shop in the subworld or also in the moon, so it can be blocked.
Yeah.
Behind key items.
I know I personally would go into the underworld before I did the twin harp, because there's just so many key items or potential key items available very quickly in the underworld. Plus there's another slew of shops and other things that you can do. So that would be my routing, but it's, the time you do that is the time where the twin harp was hiding the crystal, which is your only absolute guaranteed must-get key item. You need that and a way to fight Zeromus, which is either the Pass or the Darkness Crystal. So with one of those two and the Crystal, and, providing survivability, you can go fight Zeromus. Yeah, I know. I love Twin Harp personally, but
a randomizer run can really vary. It really just depends on the flags being run. And with flags like this, we have been running league qualifiers before this, which typically ranged anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half on average. With a seed like this, it could really easily extend that up to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It really just depends.
And yes, this is a speedrun category, as it were. You can absolutely play this casually, this randomizer, but many of us choose to speedrun it because it's fun.
Yeah, I think the main difference between like what the quote unquote speed run of something like this versus something else is like if you say like Paladin percent, it can be used for races, but it's also used, for rankings and to set records. Something like this is typically a lot more geared towards the competitive side, towards racing and stuff like that. It's easily recreational, for yourself, absolutely, but is not necessarily, you're not going to hear many people being like, oh, right, I set a record, because, it's a randomizer.
Yeah, and there's no particular category set other than this is a randomizer, so, each race everyone will be on the same flags and the same seed, but we don't particularly have different leaderboards set up for, here's the leaderboard for these flags, like, it doesn't exist. So, what? I'm usually the one who pokes with sticks, Couch, please.
See, other than the category of Natara percent, where you finish it and you'll like it?
Yeah, and you like it and you cry. Excuse me, here are my tears. Oh, so this Great White Hope does have the trap chest, the one singular trap chest they found in the Ebling Cave, and it can be a mean one, so unless they have some of those hourglasses, because these Stalemen hit like a truck. But if you can defeat them, that is some extra experience, which also helps. Okay, so when you're doing seeds like this, you often find that folks are just kind of duplicating some of the same things. Oh, and now we see so-and-so doing this thing that so-and-so just did. So it's always really fascinating when you do start to get to the new content, or to see how the runners do it a little bit differently than others. So far, though, it does look like both characters who got the Sand Ruby did go and pick up Cecil. So that is interesting. And once you have a full party, one of the things you can do is you can actually ditch. You can choose to get rid of a character, either the person you just picked up or someone already in your party. So you don't have to worry about picking up someone you don't want or need, because you can always get rid of them later, a la Edward. I'll be shocked if anyone brings Edward to Zeromus.
That would be pretty shocking. And to your point, too, about the kind of the repetition you're seeing in what the runners are doing, with especially early game, there's a lot of convergence typically, especially in the races early on, because of the key items. What they're doing is directly influenced by the key items they're getting. So
yeah,
especially in one like this, where we're pretty much blocked behind key items completely at this point.
Yeah,
you're going to see them converge on what they have to do next.
Absolutely. Speaking of key items, we do have Gobahi going for the Twin Harp, so hopefully our wonderful restreamer might switch sound, because we want to hear the harp.
You might press that button. Press that button for us.
I don't know who presses that button, but
I mean, I have a button. I can press it. I just choose not to.
That's fair. Oh yeah, we can change the button. That's fun. We'll have to make that happen for you folks, because we all want to hear.
Yeah, press the button.
Ooh, yay!
I'm feeling bold.
You should, as you should. So we have switched the sound to Gopahi, because we all want to hear that lovely, lovely harping. But oh my God, I didn't know you could walk across there.
Really?
That feeling when you're a vanilla. Then again, you don't pick that up in the vanilla speedruns. Why would I know that?
That's true.
Oh my God.
So you just had a moment.
I did. I was just like, what? Okay, I love it. So you cannot win this fight with fake Dark Elf or real Dark Elf, either way. So you're best off just trying to kill yourself. So if having Fu with any amount of decent spells is really helpful here, though Dark Elf also really tries to murder you. We'll see who the real boss is shortly.
Once that weak spell's cast, though, it is done.
Yep, we can't.
They can't.
Not with that attitude.
They can't even.
Who can even, though, really?
It's
I
true.
certainly can't even. And no, it's not vanilla Dark Elf. That fight will always show Dark Elf. We won't know until we get to the Twin Harp starts playing and the Dark Elf changes or goes to its weak form, then we'll see who the real boss is. Though if it's vanilla Dark Elf, I will laugh a lot because that's fabulous. Okay,
You'll get his trademark me attack you.
let's see what it is. Oh, this is amazing. It's Lufia 2. Boss music.
Yep.
That's fabulous. I've been watching Ancient Cave recently, so I'm like, I know that tune!
Yeah, me too.
So good. Okay, so
Good old Sinestro music.
we're still going to talk through it, but it's fabulous. So let's see who the real boss is. As soon as they go back. Me change! Oh, it's Bahamut. Brutal. Oh, Leviathan, sorry. I always get my old men mixed up.
Still the potential to be brutal, but a little more manageable.
Yeah.
Especially with Fusia.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Oh, with Nuke. Fusia has Nuke already. Never mind.
Let me cast my buy move.
Oh, and Palom has Virus, so let's play the Leviathan, more like Leviathan dead.
And he is disappointed, so he's looking the other way.
Yeah.
Why'd your mom give you a nuke?
'Cause I earned it.
Oh, Leviathan.
Leviathan, best tan.
This spot does have high magic defense. I didn't think about that.
And with Nuke and all those other spells, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You're just, it doesn't matter. You're gonna just murderize, which is exactly what happened. An unlocked weak. Nice. Not that you need that often. Let us see what our key item is and whether we got jebaited or not. Ooh, the
Not
darkness
bad.
crystal. So not jebaited as such, but darkness is interesting because it is one of our key items that we're really looking for, and it does give us access to another character. But the cutscene to get the big whale is quite time consuming. So it's generally speaking not something you want to lose unless you have to. But it does mean Kobahi, of our 4 people being restreamed, is the first to gain access to the moon.
Yeah,
So-
and that might be too where we see a little bit of divergence away from the common path is whether or not they will use that hook to go through Abalon to the underground or use the darkness crystal to go to the moon. There's
Yeah.
of course that free character they're guaranteed, and we're on K2, so
Yep.
there is key items up there.
There is, because of all those extra
Potentially.
bosses. Yes. There's definitely, let's be real, with the percentage of bosses up there, there has to be at
There's
least one
lots
key
more.
item,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's a key item we need. It could be like the package. You're like, well, yay.
I give you a spoon.
Yeah, or the spoon when you don't have edge. Excuse me, garbage.
Have a package. Get a free Edward.
No. No, you take your free package back. I will pay you to take my free package if it contains Edward. You can see I am deep, deep down into Team Hates Edward. So, speaking of our extra bosses, though, oh, it's Yang. So Yang is sitting in Edward's in the Odin spot, and is murderizing.
Yeah, Odin has high attack here, so this is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Karate Man is going to pack a punch.
Ooh, resurrecting your characters at this point, I don't think is a good call for Kapahi. I'd be focusing on getting those nukes out on a Karate Man. Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, still, no, yeah,
No,
he's going to have to burn him down.
Yeah. Oof.
Might end up coming back to that spot, I have a feeling.
Yeah, well, it's... The thing is, this is also no free lunch 1, so all he needed to do was attack with Cecil, and that's why he resurrected Cecil rather than anyone else, because you just need... After that second kick, if you can attack with Cecil, battle ends. So it is a free fight, you just kind of, putting Cecil in the second spot, so to get some faster agility. So, it's just a matter of surviving that fight, so, Oh, someone just ditched. I just saw Scratch Dragon ditch Edward. Good call. Good call.
Them speed strats come in. How quick can you get rid of Edward?
Yep, so we've got 3 folks who have so far chosen to get Cecil. We'll see who keeps Cecil. But again, Cecil can be incredibly powerful, but generally speaking, is not a good character.
Nope.
If we could ditch him in the vanilla speedrun, we would.
Great White making their way through Baron.
Does kick ignore row? Yes, I believe it does.
It does.
It's great when you get Yang in the back attack spots because it breaks kick a lot and it looks fabulous. Ooh, blink, smart.
That is a good call. And cover wasting it.
No, that's great. Ouch, fabulous.
Good, good, good.
Good call. Yeah, blink makes you at least temporarily immune to physical. And so all he needed was to get that one hit. Yeah, and learned Berserk and Warp and got Adamant. So, meh. The only use Adamant has is if you also have the Legend Sword, you turn them both into the Blacksmith in the Underground and get a Excalibur, which, if you have Cecil, can be incredibly useful. But often, it depends on runner as to whether they bother picking it up.
Could potentially have some use here since we're not guaranteed a great item other than Avenger for Cecil, but I think with that Avenger item, it's definitely down to preference.
Yeah, and the party that couch listed is really good. I love having Kane in my party personally. I usually ditch either Yang or Sid to get Kane if there's also an option in there. Rosa's a must.
Rosa is my only must no matter what. If I have the ability to get her, I'm getting her.
Rydia's my favorite character, but unfortunately when it comes to Randomizer, unless you get super lucky with summons that you find early, she's generally speaking useless. So, or not as good because her HP is just not as high as even Palom. So.
And those summons are not very useful against Zeramus.
Yeah. Yeah, and whether you keep Yang or Sid depends on how much gear you got. If you got a lot of good gear, keep Sid. If you didn't, keep Yang, because Yang gets good attack and defense just based on level, which is incredibly powerful.
I also see Sid frequently used as an agility anchor. So that can sometimes come into play. But Yang, especially late game, has very good stat scaling once you get past level 30.
Yeah, and if you're looking for the schedule for free Enterprise tonight, I would recommend joining the Discord that I've linked in the channel, and we can provide it to you there.
Yep, we do have one of our league races tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on RPG Limit Break.
Yep, and that should be exciting. We've got some really good runners participating in that race, so it should be excellent. An agility anchor is the person who the game uses their agility to decide the enemy's speed relative to yours. It's a very basic, not completely correct explanation, but basically you use one person to determine the speed of the enemies. Is the layman's description. So very incredibly important kind of calculation. You don't have to do it, but it can come into effect to what your party layout is, who's in which position, and which characters you just take at all.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy IV specifically, the enemy's agility is dependent on your party's agility, and your party's agility specifically impacts the relative agility of the enemies more depending on the anchor. Now, if you have Cecil in your party, he's always your anchor. Due to the fantastic coding by Board Phase, if Cecil isn't in the party, then it's dependent on the party slot. Which one is the agility anchor?
Yeah, so again, it's why you don't always want Cecil in your party, because if you level him up too high, he can get quite a high agility, and yeah, there's more complicated strategy in there for dealing specifically with Zeromus and the numbers around that. But yeah, Cecil can make it complicated, but sometimes it's worth it, is what it comes down to.
Oh, Invitation brings up a great point. Oh yeah, early 90s Super Nintendo programming, flawless, just like the translations.
Some of it was really excellent, and considering the tools they had at the time, I think they did a fabulous job. They got really creative on what did what. It's just now in hindsight, and as we find things, some things were broken, some things were easily manipulated, and still are. So yeah, I think they did a good job.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing once you start to find out how much of the stats in these early Final Fantasy games really are broken.
Absolutely.
Having grown up playing them, it is pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah, and just when you think of how much they managed with how little, especially comparatively to what programmers are dealing with today, and a lot of the games that come out today are still incredibly broken in, honestly, very similar ways. So I think that looks even better on the SNES folks.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think about a game like Final Fantasy IV, they had the original NES one in development for a couple of years, scrapped it, completely redid it for Super Nintendo in like a year and a half.
Yeah,
and to come out with this, like, that's pretty impressive.
It's really excellent. So we have about, there's 16 racers in this race currently, which is a lower number than usual, but because we do have an official race exactly 2 hours after we started, some folks are not participating this week. So yeah, anyone who wants to join these weekly races, we have them twice a week. We have them on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we try and get a little bit of different times and days of the week. Absolutely anyone is welcome. You just have to join the Discord and get the details and come race with us. It happens, like I say, every week, and I coordinate the Friday one. So come have a party with us. I only yell a little bit.
Yeah, I swear, just a little bit.
Save us. Yeah, twice weekly races. You got it. Mondays and Fridays. Plus, folks are racing all the time. We've got a ping to race role, which anyone who wants to participate in races and be pinged when they want to race, they can get that role. It's a lot of fun.
I personally have that role, and I can tell you it beeps all the time. There's always somebody racing.
Do not have that role at all. I don't want it. But
I don't anymore, but when I was using it, very active.
Oh, it's a super active role and completely voluntary, and that's what I mean. And the community is really active and positive. It's really wonderful. So yeah, come join us either for the weeklies or random races. They're basically, if you're ready when people are racing, most folks, the races are open. So come race with us. Lots of different options, from super easy to really ridiculously, ouch, this hurts for days later, painful.
In addition to our weeklies, right now we have our league tournament going on, which we'll have a kind of a variety of schedules, but we do have one tonight at 9 Eastern.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
So, tons of races streaming.
I'm excited to watch that.
Me too. That's going to be a showcase of some of our best runners.
It really is. Boop, boop. Ooh, Scratch Dragon to getting the big whale. So let's see what Scratch is planning to do with that. Whether it's to just check out the item shop and get a character, or whether he's going to start doing some leveling up there and checking out some bosses.
Dr. Spin dealing with a trapped chest in the bottom right. Potential for a key item.
And yes, just for chat's benefit, Magus is in fact racing in this weekly race right now, even though he is slated to race in the 9 o'clock race because he's Magus and he's that good. So I will be incredibly shocked if he's not done in the next, say, 30 minutes or less. Yeah, Magus is anyone who's familiar with El Magus knows that he is an incredible runner. And This is his newest addiction, so he is getting a lot of practice.
Yeah. Every community's got to have a bar set, and right now he's the bar.
Oof. Yep. No, we're not gonna. We purposely do not look at the other racers, so we do not know how they're doing. I haven't even looked, so it'll be a surprise to everyone. We will let you folks know once people start finishing up and what their final times are. So we can confirm currently no one has finished. So there's that. Okay, let's see what the Hummingway Cave, which is where Scratch Dragon has gone, is interesting because it can have some extra items that other spots don't have. And in this case, it had nothing of use, so whatever. And we do have Kobahi is on the is joined with Dr. Spin, and both of them are in the Tower of Babel, so that is excellent.
And some Artemis arrows for Dr. Spin's trouble out of that trap chest. Not a bad pickup for Rosa.
Yeah, let's see who our freak. Oh, it's Kane! Yes! So Kane is on the moon. Let's see if Scratch Dragon takes Kane or not. I would say if it were me, it'd be yes. But, yeah, bye, Palom.
And gone.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, that's an easy in-game party there, especially having Rosa and Fusuya. Easy choice.
And having an Avenger. Yeah, because you can get your Black Mage murderific stuff from Fu, plus having 2 White Mages is seriously the dream. Don't do it, Fantasia. I see you there. This is not Zelda 3 Randomizer. I could do it, but no, I'm not going to. I love your ears too much to do that to any of you.
That's gotta be Kane.
It's gotta be Kane. Okay, fine, I did it. I'm so weak-willed. Okay. So we are getting our wall fight still going on. Oh, we found the real Dark Elf. Real Dark Elf was...
him attack you.
Ooh, him attack you. Let's be real, we all watch Zelda 3 Randomizer. Let's not pretend.
I would never watch and or participate on a regular basis. That would be awkward.
Yeah.
Totally do.
I watch it a lot more. Anyways, so
this is taking my time away from participating. I've been playing this so much.
It's because it's so good.
It is.
Yeah, this just so you know, for anyone who's new to this randomizer, this is the randomizer that is recovering folks from Zelda 3 Randomizer. Be one of them. Join us.
Yeah.
Join us.
It is similar in that, it's kind of a treasure hunt, for the key items. So it is similar in Zelda in that regard. So
it is.
For a lot of people that are familiar with both games, it's a pretty easy transition.
Yeah, and Scratch Dragon is choosing to actually go into the lunar subterrane. So this is going to be interesting because, again, encounters are all off, so he doesn't have to worry about fighting those. But these moon bosses, or whichever bosses are located in these moon bosses' spots, can be quite powerful. So it's going to be interesting to see. But if he can defeat even one, that's quite a bit of experience.
That's true.
Okay,
Some
let's see
sweet divergence from our runners.
Sweet divergence. Let's see who's hiding here. Oh, it's only the Mega Sisters. Don't worry about it. Awkward.
And goodbye, getting some trouble from that wall.
Yeah, and no, I also really like this play for Scratch Dragon. Again, if he can defeat this boss, not only is it going to be a lot of experience because of the location of this boss, so that'll help a lot with experience, he might get to the key item he needs, or start getting key items he needs to further on. So this is one of those calls from Scratch Dragon, which can be the make or break. This could take up enough of his time that he falls behind everyone, or this could be that important call. So
with Fusuya, he does kind of have a little bit of a leg up here. I don't know if he has Meteor on Fusuya or not, but he has Quake. Yeah, he does have Quake.
Oh,
so.
Quake is nice. So he's got all the important spells. Meteor is honestly not even that good of a spell.
It's not good, but at least in a pinch, it goes through a wall.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I mean. There's very few spells which go through a wall, and Quake is one of those few. So it is incredibly useful. Kane is not so useful yet, as we just don't have any levels on him, so he is still quite weak. And Kobahi has finished the top half of the Tower of Babel, so is picking up his second airship. So that means he does now officially have underground access. So that opens up a lot for Kobahi. So this is going to be interesting again between Kobahi and Scratch Dragon, because very quickly Kobahi could get as many as 2 key items, maybe 3 if he can find the pan. Though he is going straight to Dwarf Castle, which is not only a key item, but also another character. And a lot of treasure.
Probably looks like he's just checking the item shop. No safety save there, so I would be really surprised to see him.
I find what I tend to do is I tend to go to the item shop, loot all the treasures, and then run out and save. Because you don't want to have to save, loot all the treasures, fight the boss, and then have to come in and do it again.
Very true. And just dumping them items. And no good items there.
Nope, there often isn't. Again, we are still on S2, so... Oh, getting that Quake Glove in.
Doctor a spin. Barely squeaked it out.
But did it. That's all that matters, is actually squeaking it out. Wow, that's a lot of whistles there for Kobahi.
Yes.
Got one sister down and another one came back. Got a second one down. Like, oh my goodness. So what Mega Sisters can be... Part. You gotta get that middle sister down. She is the key. So, but the fight is going well overall. Oh, good. Getting Cindy down, so Mindy by herself is... Well, just Ice 2 herself.
Much more manageable.
Yeah, much more manageable. Wow, getting some nice items here on the Dwarf Castle. I see a Lunar Rod there. Yeah, this could have been a lot worse, and again, this is, it'll be really, and with everyone alive at the end of the fight, excellent experience, and let's see what key item we get, or what item we get, I should say. I want to see how many millions of levels Kane gets. 26! If you have one character who is much less... There's Meteo as well, just a defense sword. But if you have one character who is much less leveled than everyone else, such as, in Kane's position, they get a bit of extra experience. So that can end up working out really well, which is what it did there. So that's gonna... Wow, that really helped Kane. So... I'm not sure if Scratch is exiting to come back in because it's faster, or it was just fighting one boss and taking off.
Looks like a safety save.
Yeah, and just
taking off.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, resting. No, just resting.
Smart. That is also smart. Yeah, so Kobahi did what I usually do, at least. Loots the castle and saves. Will he go back in and try the bosses? Because there's 2 bosses in here. Yep, pop him back in.
Yes.
Ooh, and we got the Rat's Tail in the Feymarch Cave. So again, that is one of the 2 free items I was talking about. So that can be traded in for another key item. So that's interesting. Great White Hope also making the underground play.
Also be interesting to see if Dr. Spin checks on the bosses and the summon spots here.
Yeah, Scratch
Dragon. We got Octomam.
Love it. I love Octomam in that position because it's one of the only ones where you get to see all the legs around.
Yeah. The spicy leg dance.
Yeah, it's pretty fabulous. Though, like, Octomam is, even in the early spot, is one of the fastest bosses in the game until you start getting rid of arms. So later on, in some of the later spots, Octomam can get terrifyingly quick.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. So, okay, so Scratch Dragon went back and got some items, and now is heading back to the Crystal Palace. Nice. I really like this divergence.
Oh my, Vitasia.
Oh my. I have one comment to that, and one comment, oh god, to that only. Okay, so it looks like We have the guards that... Oh, Rydia, hilariously, is in
And
the
bye.
underground. Yeah, toodaloo. At this point, you really don't need her. Oh, and she grew up. How nice. And so you get Baron soldiers. The ones that attack in Kaipo are in that spot.
Not too
So
bad.
that's going to be interesting. I really can't wait to see how these different plays go, and there are 2 bosses in the Fey March as well. So depending on who's sitting on those 2 spots, that's another 2 items you can also pick up here. Again, if you're strong enough to be able to beat them.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk and a lot of potential reward for Scratch Dragon's play here. And worst case scenario, if he makes it through the bosses and doesn't get the items he's looking for, he gets those levels, will make the underground easier, but
Exactly.
a lot of time will have been used.
Yeah, and again, it might be worth it for that because of the grind time being spent, and especially it is decently quick to run through, but it's really just going to depend at this point where the different items are located. The bosses you have to fight in the lunar subterrane are really all kind of clumped near the end, though there's 3 potential items here where Scratch Dragon is, so let's see what happens. And we got the Earth Crystal from the Dwarf Castle. So that opens up another treasure room and 2 more characters and 1 key item. An exit for Rosa. Oh, Val. Oh.
Yep, Kabahi getting that Earth Crystal is definitely opens up another potential avenue. A long-winded dungeon, but...
Interesting. They got Val, and it looks like the Avenger might be on Kane. That is unfortunate, though. Still doing a lot of damage, which is nice, but means you cannot take Val out of her spin without jump, and her magic defense in the spin is just too high to even bother. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Scratch Dragon does here.
Not a lot of options other than keeping the party up with Fusu and Rosa and just letting them punch away.
Yeah, though Great White Hope has also now made it into the underground, so we have 3 of our runners here in the underground and 1 on the moon, all in the dark places.
And the old Doctor of Spin taking on a trap chest.
Yep, the one in the Fey March, so that's interesting. It looks like they went through, saw what was there, and decided to save, and now that they have, and go through and check the items here with Float as well. Get some good experience from that battle and see what happens. Yeah, they're all in the Fey March right now. Ooh, a tiara. Leaving it, but
no key item, but it is fabulous.
Yeah. So soon they're all going to have their rat tails, so we'll see whether they can continue to explore the underground, or who hops up first to go get that in the overworld. They do have to trade which airship they're using, though. The hook cannot be used with the underground airship. Oh. Dr. Spin was going to go Sealed Cave and then change their mind. Maybe we want to check this item first. Ooh, Bacchus. There are Bacchus wines in the Fey March. Now that's
Never
nice.
go wrong with some Bacchus wines.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely some really great looting opportunities in a lot of these places. So if you know where they are, you definitely can get some good items, like the Soma drops, which increase max MP. Ooh, trading that out for a Star Veil.
And Kabahi using a cabin looks like they're going to save at the Fey March. They may be thinking summons.
And that's, again, also a good call, because those bosses could be hiding the key items. Wow, Val being a jerk as usual. Thanks for nothing, Val. This is why no one likes you. It's a lie. We love you. Okay, oh, I see.
Unfortunately for Scratch Dragon, all you can do is just really punch away and waste some time on this fight, or reset and redo, so...
I'm really interested to see what these elves, these dark imps are going to be like in this spot. Ooh, murderous. Yeah, they can be really hurty, but with those coffins, they are still just a random encounter, I believe, so those coffins should work really quite nicely.
Oof.
Yeah, definitely what you
Not
want
bad
in that
at all.
spot. So may not go and fight Baigen next because ouchie. But taking out those Dark Imps is a fabulous call here. Oh, and using the
Getting that
Vitality
Vitality
Glitch.
Glitch.
Smart! Getting some extra experience. So by lining up that life to happen after that Dark Imp died, it means he's going to get the experience as if there were 3 elves, or imps, not 3. Like, sorry, 4 rather than 3. So that's very nice. Let's see what the item is. The spoon. Wah wah. So for those unfamiliar, though I'm sure we all are, the spoon is just a throwing item for Edge who nobody has. And it's an excellent throwing item, but there's only one of them. So it's nice enough for Zeromus if you've got Edge in your party, but otherwise, meh.
Behind the rat tail was the crystal ring. Not quite the crystal we were looking for.
No, that's a disappointment. So, for everything they're checking in the underworld, which is not paying off, it is more and more seeming like Scratch Dragon had the right idea. But we're gonna have to see. It's still too early to tell. There's any number of bosses waiting, both on the main planet and on the moon. So these folks going through the underground are also gaining experience while they're going.
Is
so
down.
Wow, that is a lot of experience from Val. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. That was 100,000 experience. Oh, and Fusia has a full power package and power.
Package.
So, yeah. Package
Well, at least counts towards our key item count. I don't think he's at 10 yet. But
No.
It helps.
Yeah, definitely good to have. And yes, Sand Ruby was for Cecil. Cecil was in another spot No, Cecil wasn't in another spot. Someone else was. Yeah. No, but Cecil definitely was locked behind the Sand Ruby, so, yeah, bye, Rydia. Nobody wants you, which is sad, because I love you, but I'd leave you too, so.
Nope and Rydia right out.
Nope and right out. So, it looks like Kabahi is going to make the play for the Sylvan Cave, without the pan. And Sylvan Cave can unlock 2 key items, but you need the pan, so, without the pan, going into the Sylvan Cave just means you find Yang, which will give you the first of the 2 key items from Yang's wife. To get the second one, you must return the pan after you've used it to knock Yang on the ground. Ooh, Golbez. Ouchie.
Yeah, I did not see what the Starvale situation was there.
No.
But if Fusuya has wall, this could be doable.
Yeah, that is, that's pretty ouchy. I didn't see what item they got from... Oh, they don't get an item just for seeing Yang there, but it looks like Kabahi is going to start dropping things off on the overworld, is probably going to turn in the rat tail at the same time. So this is actually a pretty smart play, because you can get a few overworld items at the same time. Yeah, picking up the airship here in order to bring the hovercraft over. So the Golbez fight is really quite nasty, because Golbez's dragon will show up and kill a majority of your party members. When you have a full party, it will kill 3 of them, unless you have items that make you immune, which nobody has. And yeah, and then you have to kill Golbez, who is incredibly quick.
Fortunately, based on that virus, I think this might be a low magic attack slot.
That is really good. That is excellent, because Golbez is all magic. So, or primarily magic. So that will make this really survivable now.
Yep, that is very doable.
Very doable. So, oh, did someone get the pink tail?
Yeah, looks like Great White did from the Sylph Cave.
Well then, that's an adamant armor. So that's what's seeing Yang. Got you. So unfortunately does not unlock anything key item-wise. Doesn't have a pan, and the pink tail does not unlock another key item. But it does give Great White Hope the ever wonderful, beautiful adamant armor, which we all love to find. When you're on T4, you can actually find adamant armors in chests, which is very nice. Great White Hope also has the pass. I did not see when and where Great White Hope got that.
And they have the pan as well, so they can go back down.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, definitely the wrong crystal, sadly.
Pan was in the vanilla spot, and pass was from cashing in the pan.
Oh, so they did that already. Lovely.
Thank you for our excellent trekker Neon Gray for pointing that out for us.
Yes, please make sure to give Neon Gray, villain fetishist on Twitch, a follow, doing the excellent job of keeping us in line. And make sure to give all of our runners a follow. They're working hard here on this race for us. So definitely very entertaining.
If you're not too wore out from all that following, probably should give Natara a follow too.
Well, and never forget Casual Geek Dave. Just follows all around. Yeah, I don't know if there are commands for that on this channel, so unfortunately. But as an, I'll have to spell that out because that's not an easy one to. Oh, hey! Look at that. Someone's got our back. Thank you. Ventric1 very much for that. And now I know the command too. Do, do, do. So yeah, definitely using those tents.
All right, Great White making their way to the dancing legs.
Yep, so starting to get a collection of passes. Or we will for turning in, because now that we're getting pans, they're going to go and smack Yang and be like, please wake up. And start turning in those pans. So that's very good for the folks who did not choose to go to the moon. That way at least, because it is going to give them a quick passage to Zeromus that we know Scratch Dragon is not going to find on the moon. However, if Scratch Dragon does manage to find the crystal while on the moon, especially where they are now, if they're high enough level, they may not actually need to go back. They could just head straight for Zeromus.
Alright, Scratch Dragon going after one of the last lunar bosses.
Yeah, let's see who it is.
Oh,
the Fabool Gauntlet. So, welcome to the entire Fabool Gauntlet. They will, Scratch Dragon, he is going to fight the 6 fights. I don't know, wow, I was going to say, I don't know how mean they are here, but they already look kind of mean.
yeah, they're going to hit a little hard.
The hitting's not so bad. They're just taking a bunch of damage. Thankfully, the amount they're hitting for seems to be curable pretty easily. So I think this will be time-consuming versus difficult. So we really hope this is the call that the fight that Scratch Dragon needs. Otherwise, this is going to be a huge waste. And no, I didn't see Scratch do the Wyvern spot yet. No.
They did not.
No, they'll have to go back for that. So we'll see what he does, but again, he could get what he needs from here. I've fought the Mist Dragon in this spot where the Mist Dragon was holding the crystal like a jerk. So, I think we've all had seeds like that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Spin finding out that Rydia's mom is too busy having a nap to give us anything super cool. Just semi-cool.
Yeah.
As we still have not found Edge anywhere. The package could be what you need to get Edge, but even if Scratch Dragon was going to even check, actually I would not even expect Scratch Dragon to even check to see what that package holds if they go back. Their party is too leveled up at this point to bother.
Yeah, we can pretty much guarantee that's their endgame party.
Yeah, exactly. But Ogopogo loves the pan. And the crystal. And all of those items, you know.
Dr. Spin turning in their tails.
Yeah, if you can pass those in at the same time, it's an excellent time save. Oh, giving the adamant armor to Rosa. Very smart. That's what I do in that case as well. Giving your healer good defense. Fabulous idea.
Mm-hmm.
And Kobahi using the Earth Crystal to get a whole pile of treasures. So we won't get anything super amazing like more adamant armors, as this is only T3. You could get quite the collection of gear So one of the options as well that you have in this randomizer is with every item you pick up, you can choose to immediately discard it, which when you see them going back and it looks like they're opening a treasure chest twice, that's because they chose to discard, and then immediately, as long as you don't leave the room or leave where you are in front of it, you can open it again and pick it up. It's not permanently discarded. So yeah, it's pretty helpful. Oh, Great White Hope's also going to check out the summon bosses.
And I apologize there. I was muted for a moment. My lovely puppy Casual Geek May decided to jump and knock my Nintendo Switch off a shelf.
Puppy, why?
So like a ninja, muted and dove for my Switch to catch it.
Did you catch it?
I did.
Caught it, though. Good. We love puppies, but Switches. We also love Switches.
Yeah, also she's okay, I guess.
That's cool. Well, I honestly figured she was fine. Yeah, I'm a pet owner too. I would have heard the panic in your voice had there been any question to her safety. Oh,
she'll go back to her usual staring at me with her cold dead eyes.
Oh, my dog. That's what they do. I have a rabbit. Talk to me about cold dead eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let us go fight a wyvern. So is that the wyvern spot? That's cool. I know where the bosses are, but I don't know which boss is in which spot.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm using the trackers for the extra bosses, it's like this spot and this spot. I'm like, I'm just gonna make up which boss is in which because I have no idea.
I just turn the boss tracker off every time.
Yeah. No,
I do hard
it.
Work Shala, but click.
Yeah, no, I use Scholar's Tracker all the time, but I mean, there's a list one with drop downs, and just so I check every boss spot, I forget things. I need trackers. So when it lists the ones for the moon, it lists them by items, like ribbon spot, Mazamune spot, and I'm like, I don't even know what bosses are in each spot, let alone what item they give me or they're guarding. So I'm just like, first one, second one.
The deep one. This is the one near the entrance.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, Calcabrina. My most hated of bosses.
Could be potentially a little rough in this spot.
It could be, but with
more
those
time,
hours...
like all the rest of them, not difficult, but time consuming.
Honestly, with the hourglass and with Fu, with Quake and things, I don't even think this boss is going to be too time consuming because as long as you kill the last two, like the last one of each color around the same time, it's not a challenge at all, and you can stop the blue, the back of the dolls, which is actually part of the strategy in the Japanese speedrun of this. So that's really helpful. So yeah, I really am not too worried about this particular boss fight. It's actually pretty fortuitous that this is here, because it's one of the easier ones. So, and because the back ones are frozen, Scratch can take a bit of time to murder them in peace without having to worry about the big doll, which is the worst, by the way. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And look at that experience, too. So nice. The only thing
I'm going to walk away from this pretty buffed.
Let's see what we get. Come on, be the crystal. I want it to be the crystal so bad. Oh,
and
no.
Tower Key.
Ooh, but it is a key item, which is one of the only ones we have gotten here, and it is a potential progression one. So while it looks like a lot of our other characters are collecting, characters and checking spots out, that is another location that could go. And speaking of key items, Kobahi has just finished Tower of Zot, picking up some new characters, so we will get a key item here now shortly, so as soon as we get back to Baron, or as soon as we finish this boss and go back to Baron, so we'll see which is the play.
And Great White is also attempting buy-in in the summon spot.
Do you want to do a fetch quest? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. Doo-doo. Me attack you. Rude. Crystal is like the ice rod. The crystal is like the ice rod in A Link to the Past when you actually need to fight dude to get the crystal. It's... Ice rod can often be useless. I would put crystal more like the bow, if we're doing that. If we're doing those sort of things, that's in, it's basically always absolutely required, you must have it. No ifs, ands, or buts, but when you get it, can change things.
Scratch Dragon now. Wyvern!
Oh no! So this is going to be a race to see how quickly you can get wall up. Never mind, goodbye. Oh my god, yeah, rip. So there is specifically a flag which you can put on which takes away that initial Mega Nuke. And it's not on for the League flags because nana boo boo. So you gotta learn. You can actually, there are things you can do to get around that. But as Scratch Dragon found out while looking in their inventory, they did not have any of them. Okay, I was like, let's see what key item we get. Oh, the crystal is hiding behind Zot. So that means the only other person right now who could even possibly get it is Doctor of Spin. Did you see a 4780? If you mean from the Mega Nuke, it's entirely likely.
We saw at least that. I think some of them were 6K or more.
Oh yeah, I saw over 6,000. Yeah, it's rude. This music is fabulous. Don't you argue this music?
It's just the best.
So good. Earth Crystal, I love the fact that you ask and expect me to remember that. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't remember. Hey, our wonderful tracker! Do you remember where the Earth Crystal was? I remember them getting it, but I don't remember where they found it.
Dwarf Castle!
Aha! That makes sense.
Get our lovely tracker coming into play.
That's why we love our tracker.
We're just here to talk. I mean, if you're expecting us to pay attention, you're asking a lot.
There's a reason I use a tracker when I play this. I literally cannot actually play this without a tracker because as soon as I pick up an item and walk away, I've already forgotten what it was and where I got it. It's gone. So, okay, so interesting. Kobahi has the all of the key items they need to go fight Zeromus, but is still choosing to get the big whale and go check on the moon. So it's interesting whether they're doing that for levels or just want to finalize their party, or just want to check the item shop.
Yeah, they may be checking to see if they can find some more sirens or anything else in the in the lunar shops.
Yeah, maybe checking for those sirens. But no, they might just be going to, because without sirens, there are a few different spots you can go to level up, depending on your party makeup and items. You can summon the Giant of Babel and do a grind fight there, so long as you have life potions and someone to cast the weak spell. You can go down into the underworld, and you can go into the sealed cave and fight trapdoors. You can go on the moon and run through with encounters on. And fight enemies in there because they're mean and give experience. Or fight the bosses. Yeah, unfortunately, we already know the Hummingway Cave is sad.
A lovely trip for tents.
Yep. So, if you already have the big whale, my choice, so long as you've got Foo and life potions, would be to go and do the grind fight in the Giant of Babel. So, is my personal choice for that. It is the fastest way to do it. But not everyone is familiar with how to do that fight, so choose other venues. And yeah, since Kobahi's on the moon anyways, might as well check and see who's here, because it's before their grind, so that's smart.
Interesting to see if they keep him. I probably would in their position.
Yeah, so I'm again really curious. Yeah.
By Cecil.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep. Honestly, no one's really picked up anything particularly amazing enough to keep Cecil. So but there's a lot of really good Kane items. So yeah, that way you don't have to focus so much. You've got Sid, who is an amazing agility anchor because he's so slow. So you just need to stick him in the middle and it's excellent. So I know I'm guilty of doing that. Yep, going right to the Tower of Babel, or the Giants. Yep, good call in my opinion. Very good call. So right now, where it's kind of Kobahi's game, depending on who's next. Though Doctor of Spin is also in Tower of Zot, so they're going to be the next one to find the crystal. But they have not found the Darkness Crystal or the Pass, so they have no way to get to the moon. Oh, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Interesting to see what's going to happen from here. And we still do not have any finishers yet.
No, and the fact that Magus hasn't finished yet, who again is one of our top runners, shows how nice the seed has been. It's okay.
A few commented in chat, they checked in on him, and apparently he was running a similar path to Scratch Dragon, so Kabali may have a really good opportunity here.
Yeah, and unlike the other racers, Elmagus has a timeline, so if Elmagus does not finish this in the next, say, 20 minutes max, he's going to have to forfeit because he's got another race he's got to do at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he's good, though, so I will seriously be shocked if he doesn't. So we will definitely see how it goes. So yeah, we are just about to the this grind fight. So the strategy here on the grind fight is there is a oh, interesting, taking off the adamant armor. Oh, they want Yang to die with that.
Yeah,
it looks like, because you wouldn't remove the adamant otherwise, because it causes problems with your elemental resistances. There's a glitch where if you remove it, it makes you weak to a bunch of the different elements, which doesn't matter for Zeromus, but for before that hurts. But the grind fight involves saving, and if you want to get a guaranteed grind fight, there's a special document you can use by counting steps, and what step you get your encounter on will tell you whether it is your grind fight or not. If you don't want to do the guaranteed grind fight, then you can just walk and hope it's the right one when you see it. But let's see what Gobahi's doing. Did just save, and he's looking up the document right now. I can call it, and he's going to, you're going to see him reset in a moment, because this is what I do every time. I go, oh shoot, I need the document up. Let me pause for a second while I bring it up. And yeah, and he's pausing to count. Yep. Yeah, so depending on which step you get an encounter, the stairs don't count for a step, and the document tells you, like, you just go by step, and like, say you get an encounter on step 42, then you look on your document, and it'll show you right here. Now, he knows by looking at the document, even though that looked like it was the right fight for a grind fight, it was not the grind fight. So he ran, and the document must have told him to reset, because he just reset again. So yes, you can also just walk until you get that Beamer and Searcher encounter, and hope it's the correct one and start fighting it. The one that's correct is the one that once you get rid of those two Beamers, it does regenerate with a D machine. And where the experience is not shared, you get quite a lot of experience. You just have to kill a few of them, and by using a life potion on them just before they die and have it actually happen once they've died, it makes it even faster. So that is a strategy which is used in the vanilla speedrun for the no 64 door glitch run. Oh. So we've got two others in Zot. That's nice.
And Scratch Dragon going down the rabbit hole now with the tower.
Yep, unfortunately getting a bit jebaited.
Yep.
Which means they are going down a fetch quest down the wrong path. They are following items which are going to lead to nothing, so... You always have to wonder when they get those calls like that, whether it's going to pay off or, you know, or whether it's going to put them behind. And unfortunately, in Scratch Dragon's case, it did put him behind, and so he's got to be wondering just how far behind he is and whether anyone else made the same call he did or not.
All right. Kabahi pulling off that first D-Machine encounter there.
And getting 2 lives off on it.
Yeah, the double.
Oh, that is the dream right there. Oh, we're finding Mylon up in the tower. How nice.
Really just getting the timing on this D-Machine pretty perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you can get this timing correct, it is pretty sweet. And you saw how much damage Yang took from those flames, and that is because of the resistance that he picked up or lost from unequipping that adamant armor. But again, I believe that is part of the plan, so, what is the right count number for D-Machines? In Randomizer, I don't know. I just kind of do a few. I do 3 or 4 and stop. Yeah, now, this fight is really scary because you can die. I can and have died too early on this fight. And I've killed 7 D-Machines. I'm ready to go, and then die. And you can't run buffer to try and save yourself because this is a runnable fight, so you will just run away. So, getting a little scary here now. If Kobahi can at least get the D-Machine down, the Searcher will not fight or do anything until you hit it. Oh, this is really scary.
Really clinch.
Yeah. Good. So he can take as much time as he needs now to bring back his party, to fully cure them. There's no issue. As long as you don't hit that Searcher, nothing's gonna happen. Oh, looks like Great White Hope is going the murder the trapdoor path. That is slower than the grind, but it is still a very legitimate path to take in order to get some quick experience, especially if you're planning to go down there anyways to look for items. And but where Great White Hope does have the pass and the crystal, this is obviously their choice for a grind. Yeah, you could actually get quite a lot of levels from this D-Machine fight, but generally speaking, you just want to kill a few dragons, get a few lives on them, and end. And if you have to do it again, well then do it again. But, yeah, level 70 is a little excessive. Generally speaking, actually, even low 40s can be good with the right party, but high 40s, low 50s tend to be the sweet spot for fighting Zeromus levels-wise.
Yeah, ideally for a lot of runners, being able to take a Big Bang without it being nerfed is the ideal place to be, unless they are just really on top of their nerfs during that fight. Referring to, of course, during the Zeromus fight, during the main phase of the fight, Zeromus will use Big Bang on your entire party, which can do up to around 2k of damage, give or take. However, after it shakes right before it, if you time it right and hit him with a spell, he'll counter with a nuke. Which sounds bad, but then the Big Bang that comes right after it is nerfed and does considerably less damage.
Okay, Scratch Dragon is at the Dwarf Castle, though, so it does mean they are going to get the Earth Crystal, so providing they follow that path through, they will be joining... Scratch Dragon will join the rest of the group in go mode, but right now Kobahi is the only one, and not until he's got the appropriate levels, which he's going for it, because he's already got enough levels. He could have stopped a while ago.
At least in Scratch Dragon's favor, easy for me to say, as well as at least he has kind of done some of that grinding preemptively because of the lunar bosses having such high experience, so it won't need as much grinding to get to the end.
Octomam down with those levels that Scratch Dragon got from the moon. Again, it was a waste of a time in items-wise, but when it comes to those levels, that is really helping Scratch Dragon to try and catch up here, because he's just like, hey, guess what, die? Oh, hey, nice to meet you, die. So, very helpful.
I would imagine Kobahi should be wrapping up this grind pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh, Doctor of Spin. using whatever sirens they have, which I think is just, oh, it's 3. There are 3 whole sirens and gonna get what levels they can from the good leveling spot. Not a bad choice, especially where they are not in go mode yet, because it will help them get Kane up to a better level, and that will help, again, speed things up for future endeavors.
That is a good call.
Ooh, Cursed Ring getting picked up by Great White Hope. That can be a really excellent item to have along with the Dwarf Axe in terms of agility manipulation. Also, forgetting to turn on encounters before trying to fight a door. If you have your encounters off, those doors will just be slightly delayed doors. See you later, Vitasia, and good luck to everyone who is going to be going over to that race. We will join you there once we are done.
And Kobahi finishing up their grind.
Ah, Rosa learning white. That is the sweet spot. She learns it.
Level 75 Kane.
That's amazing. That is so beautiful. Those levels.
That's
and having Yang at that level is especially nice because again, his attack and HP is all level based. So that is pretty. Oh, but he was dead, so never mind. But for everyone else, that is going to be pretty.
I think he upped
excessively good. Oh yeah, he may have at the end. Oh right, because his level was high there. Unfortunately, you know, Fu's levels are still going to be low, or HP, because Fu doesn't gain a lot of HP, but he even did get some. Wow, those HPs, look at them. That is beautiful. Oh right, he was level 1, gotcha. So yes, he got that bonus. Wow, wow, I love it. This is going to be good. Oh, it still has a gold apple too. You can use to boost. I'd give it to Rosa. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but basically Kobahi is in go mode, just arranging spells, making things as quick as possible to get ready for that Zeromus fight. If Kobahi isn't the first to finish, he's definitely going to be one of the early ones, that's for sure. Which is
in a great position.
Yeah, unsurprising for those who know Kobahi.
I mean, just seeing there from how well they did that D-Machine grind too. I mean, well, it may have been a little heavy. They're clearly a very talented runner.
Yes, no, he is a vanilla runner as well, and very good at it with the vanilla speedrun. So it's unsurprising that that would translate over to skill in the randomizer. So interesting. So quick look at Sid's agility. Sid's agility was actually a 27. For Zeromus, you are looking for multiples of 14. So 27 is not awful. It would be better if it was actually 28, but 27 isn't bad, I don't think. So it'll be interesting. But with those levels, it honestly shouldn't matter anyways. I love parking the Lunar Whale literally anywhere that isn't next to Mysidia.
Especially Troya, just a bunch of forests in a giant whale.
Yeah. Oh, Scratch Dragon is going and yeah, did not go after the Earth Crystal.
Further down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that again, and that's just the way these randomizers work, and it's I personally find it very difficult to follow any sort of path when it comes to this game. I find you just have to guess what's going to be the best path and hope for the best. And some runners are really good at dealing with whatever comes their way. The folks who get the highest times are not always the people who guess right. They're the people who can guess wrong and still whip through those times fast. Because you see, like Scratch Dragon technically might have done like gone to the moon and stuff, but like he's just whipping through all of this later stuff and is still going to have an excellent time. Even after going down the rabbit hole. So
yeah, it really shows how just skilled they are, you know, going all the way through Lunar Subterranean, taking on all those bosses, and still really just making decent progress outside of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kobahi's facing the end game.
Oh my goodness. We have someone who has finished. Big Dunka has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 55 seconds. So, that'll be interesting to see.
And
Okay.
Dipwood, second place with a time of 1:43:11.
Oh, congratulations. So it'll be interesting to see. So people are starting to finish up, and as we see here, do you want to talk about the Z flag?
Ah, yes, the lovely Z flag. Completely optional. Ironically, we're getting Zemus here. So the Z flag completely randomizes the end-game boss sprite for Zeromus here. And in this case, it's Zemus, his form prior to becoming Zeromus. But it could be anything from Proto-Man to a giant fish. You never know.
And it does not actually change the script for Zeromus whatsoever.
Mhm.
It is completely Mimi, just like the twin harp and changing. But due to our lovely admin Scala Kitty, she has uploaded and expanded the amount of graphics in this flag. So there's like over 200 possibilities in here right now. So I certainly hadn't seen this before, and it's amazing. And I've seen a lot of different ones now. So it's yeah, it's definitely a fabulous thing to see. So let us see how this Zeromus fight goes. Yeah, I've definitely seen Mewtwo. I've seen Mewtwo a few times, just not when I fought them.
Oh yeah, the levels he's at, he is just hounding away.
Yeah, and going for the Berserk strategy, which is really a great strategy. What you do is you just Berserk your fighters and keep your healers ready to, as soon as that big bag comes, you just heal away. And with people at the levels that Kobahi has them, that is a super easy. It's the way to do it. You just basically sit back and chill because they are just so much faster than Zeromus. Yeah, I've seen Mewtwo squared. Ha. I also love how Scratch Dragon is quaking the arms. That is amazing. So yeah, we have both Doctor of Spin and Great White Hope, both with Crystal and Away to the Moon, and grinding on doors. So again, doors are a really great way to do it, but with life potions, I always recommend doing the Giant of Babel. And if that's not something you know how to do, come join us in the community. There's plenty of us who do and are happy to teach you and show you the ways of the Giant of Babel grind. It is so much faster. I promise you, it's worth it. Well, as you see with how quickly Kobahi leveled.
In this case, too, you know, a couple of D machines are the difference between being a reasonable level and the crazy levels that Kobahi's at for this fight.
Well, absolutely, and look at what a breeze this is.
Yeah.
So Scratch Dragon killing the bosses down in the Fey March, and unfortunately not having much luck with those items he's looking for, because of course we know that he has got to go to the Tower of Zot. So I really hope he goes there sooner rather than later, rather than getting fully baited. So we do have our next finisher, but we're going to hold off on saying who it is for a moment.
Yep. In the Meteo phase, Kobahi should be wrapping this up here soon.
The Meteo phase is the third and last phase, and it's a joke. It shows you that Meteo is, we don't care. It means Zeromus is also almost dead. And Kobahi was our third place finisher with a final time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 20 seconds. So GG to Kobahi to be our first finisher for this restream, and third place overall. Oh, so interesting to note, though, about what Scratch Dragon is doing versus what the other two are doing. He is also in the sealed cave, but he is not there for levels. He is literally running through to check for any items he might pass, but specifically for that key item. So he will be through the sealed cave and ahead of the other two shortly. So, well, not ahead of Doctor of Spin, as Doctor of Spin just left, but
Dr. Spin seem to be satisfied with their grind, are going to be making their way to Zeromus.
So I have brought Kobahi in the channel to join us for an interview. Congratulations, Kobahi.
Thank you.
So how did you find that? Talk us through what you felt about that seed.
Well, obviously we got the hook before the magma key, so we kind of had to make a decision early about doing other extra stuff or eventually going to the moon, but I don't know. With the pody I had with the levels, even with Fusoya, I decided against the moon and knew I could probably beat the bosses at the lower tower, which ended up being really close on the evil wall.
Yeah, absolutely. But you doing the grind in the Tower of Babel, even though that was clutch there at the beginning, seemed to have worked out extraordinarily well for you.
Yeah, I forgot taking off the adamant makes you weak to fire.
We're wondering whether you forgot that or not.
I was more thinking of him being way too fast and getting out of tune order and not just, dying over and over.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. We will note that of the 4 of you being restreamed, Scratch Dragon did actually go to the moon, and we can promise you there was nothing there, unfortunately.
Oh, that's good for me.
Yeah.
Scratch, but
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
How Randomizer goes.
It absolutely is. So, anything else you want to note about how you found that particular and finishing 3rd?
I don't know. I think this is the 2nd time I've run with these set of flags, which I now have to get used to. I think both times I haven't found sirens, so yeah, definitely remembering the grind fight is key in the D machines.
Yeah, because you made it into the league, didn't you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, I'll be running in hopefully a bunch of those.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on that. You did fabulous. And we do actually have another person going into Zeromus right now.
Oh, nice.
So that's great.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kobahi, and congrats on being our first featured runner of the night to finish.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too.
So we do have Aurelix, who has finished in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 31 seconds. So let's see if Dr. Spin will join as the next place finisher or not. Ooh, that's... So getting folks berserked early. Can't actually... Yeah, go ahead.
You have to be pretty careful with that, because there is kind of a glitch that can happen here where you can get Zeromus in a mimic status and soft lock the game, basically.
Yeah, it can be really not great. And you can't actually do any damage to Zeromus before he gets changed by the crystal, but getting those berserks set up early is great, providing you don't get in that mimic status, because it means they will be attacking and ready to go early, so... Let's see how this goes for Doctor of Spin, who is a lower level than Kobahi was for this fight.
A full Big Bang out of the gate.
I think Doctor of Spin must have also had the pass, because I don't remember seeing them walk all the way through the moon to get here.
Yeah, they did use the pass, I believe.
Yeah. So Great White Hope also joining. So let's see how these 2 fights go. I'm actually really fascinated that I have not seen Elmagus either forfeit or
yeah.
or finish. Again, he's supposed to be on a race or in another race in 4 minutes.
That would be because he's at Zeromus right now.
Gotcha. That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, they're probably willing to wait for him on that. And Magus doesn't exactly need a lot of prep. So again, you're seeing how difficult this fight and how, even though they're using similar strategies, how much more difficult this fight is with the lower levels. And another difference is the fact that they have Cecil, where Kobahi did not.
Yeah, definitely a completely different setup here. Great White Hope has Palom, whereas Dr. Spin has Kane. They both have Cecil, so the agility manipulation is completely different for both. Great White Hope has Cecil at a much higher level, So definitely going to impact the agility of Zeromus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Scratch Dragon thankfully making their way up the Tower of Zod.
Yep, so they will be, and again, Scratch Dragon levels-wise, as far as I'm concerned, is ready to go. I don't know if Scratch has found the pass themselves, though, so he may have to do another run through the moon to get there, but he can do that, and fairly quickly, and does have the levels and experience to go, so as soon as he has the crystal, he will be joining them shortly. Also, I love this music. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's great. Really anyone's race here between Great White and Doctor.
It really is.
Always fantastic to see two this close. Doctor did have a little bit of a rough start, but they have recovered from that really well. And they're both doing really good damage here, so just a matter of time now.
Yeah, doing nukes on Zeromus can be potentially dangerous because he counters with nukes. However, if you can time them just right, specifically just after a shake, which indicates he is getting ready to do something, usually Big Bang, it can nerf the amount of damage he will do in that Big Bang. So it is often worth it in that scenario. So we definitely see some of those nukes coming out here on Dr. Spin's side. Yeah, and see them coming out on Great White Hopes as well. Didn't catch the timing on that one or not.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if they got that off in before or after the shake here. Dr. Spin hitting the Meteo phase first, so very close to a finish.
Yeah, especially with these levels and amount of HP that they have, even with some dead characters, hitting the Meteo phase means they're done. They just need to literally hit. Unless I'm super close to dying, I don't even worry about curing the Meteo phase. Oh my goodness, okay.
Dr. Spin finishing in 5th place with the time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, 21 seconds, and the second of our featured runners to finish tonight. Right behind him is Sonny Wrath, 11, 6th place at the time of 1:55:51. Great White Hope here, also right behind them, is sure to finish soon.
So interesting, Scratch Dragon is fighting some things on the moon, so chances are he's just trying to get a last bit of experience before actually fighting Zeromus, so likely is just leaving the encounters on. So not a bad strategy, certainly. Or no, that was probably... No, it wasn't a trap chest, never mind. And there's Meteo phase for Great White Hope. So that means the finish is inevitable.
The end is nigh.
No!
And another Meteo because he can.
It's not like it hurts.
And 7th place, Great White Hope finishing at 1:56:55. Third of our featured runners to finish. And Kabuto Zero finishing in 8th place at the time of 1:57:29. It is unfortunate, but you know what happened here with Scratch Dragon is just a good example of that risk reward. You know, that could have really paid off for him. Could have really, put him ahead of everyone else, but unfortunately didn't work out. El Magus, we're getting ready to immediately run another race. Finishes in 9th place with a time of 1:58.05, and will probably be immediately transitioning to RPG Limit Break for his tournament race.
There are folks over there waiting. They're like, when's the race starting? We're like, we're working on it. No reason.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
We are missing an El Magus.
So it's just Scratch Dragon making their way down. And let's be real, he's not going to have any issues.
Nah, he's going to make his way through this pretty easily. Smart safety save there. Benjinator finishing in 10th place with a time of 1:58.55.
So we're getting a lot of really great times for this run, especially considering how mean this one was. Because even on easier seeds and flags, sometimes the seed is just mean. And that's exactly what happened here. I wouldn't call this particular set of flags easy, but they're not some of our super challenging ones. But this one definitely led you around, and you see what happens if you get baited to the moon like Scratch Dragon and apparently El Magus did. So sometimes it just happens. Even the best get baited the wrong way, and it happens. So it's still an excellent. Yep, that's randomizer life.
All right, Scratch Dragon now.
So let's see how the 4th and final fight goes.
For all those living on Earth, Scratch Dragon will finish in 11th place.
It seems incredibly likely. So I wonder what the Z flag will be this time. It doesn't change. In a seed, it won't change. It'll just be different between each side. Yeah. Could it be placing bets on ultras? Oh no! Foiled again!
The purple creeper strikes again.
No! I seriously love this one, though. The fact that it's just Zemus. You're like, he reverted back to his original form.
It just shows up, sup.
Yeah, what up? That form got boring. I've got hands this way. We like hands. So one kind of neat thing about this randomizer is when it finishes, throughout the credits, it does go through and show you where all of 17 of the key items were. So if you're wondering, now where was that item? Or 18, I think, in this case, where the pass is also a key item. So yeah, Cure 4 is really necessary here. Just vital. General, you need to come to Zeromus with enough curing. If you don't, you just get smacked down and quickly. It also looks like Shamstron is finished in 11th place with a final time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 1 second.
Congratulations.
So that means 12th place is still open.
You can do it, Scratch.
Yeah, when you've got two healers in the way that Scratch does, it really helps take a lot of the scariness out of this fight, because you can just... Zeromus does a lot of damage, but as long as you just go back and forth, you know, cure 4, cure 4, cure 4, it can be really excellent. Or, again, you can be timing your nukes with Fu in order to take some of the hurt out of that big bang, which also helps a lot.
Yeah. And the extra damage from nuke never hurts. As we suspected, Scratch Dragon not having too much difficulty here.
Not at all. Again, Scratch Dragon is one of our top players in the community. It just happened to be he got debated. So considering how far down the rabbit hole he went and how many more key items he has comparatively to the other runners on screen, he is finishing with an amazing time. I love it when Zeromus fights are like this, because all of these runners have made this look relatively easy, but let me tell you, I have been the person who is sitting there having to do this fight over and over again because I thought I was prepared and then I'm not, and Zeromus is just like, hey, what up? How do you like sleeping? Please take a permanap, and you're like, sad.
It can go south in a hurry. I mean,
Really?
even just right there, he lost Rosa, and it did... The unexpected can happen pretty quickly.
Yeah, it absolutely can.
Black Hole here will remove the Berserks off the characters unless they have Avenger's Sword on. So you'll see him quickly try to get them re-berserked and healed. Healing obviously being the priority. While we're making our way through this fight, definitely be sure to follow all of our featured runners here tonight. Scratch Dragon, Gobai, Great White Hope, Doctor of Spin, fantastic runners in their own right. Definitely
Absolutely, and
following.
I linked their channels in the chat, so you don't even have to look them up. You just need to click away.
And be sure to follow the lovely and talented Natara and Villain Fetishist. They are both worth watching.
And also make sure to give Casual Geek Dave, my other wonderful co-commentator, a follow. We work hard here. It's fun.
We work hard, we play harder.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with those Cure 4s. Look at them go. I swear, every time I look at the screen, it's like, Cure 4! And it's like, well, you know, you're not going to die that way. Though you do, like, Fusilier doesn't have, as good as his spells are, he does not have a lot of MP, and that will never increase. So, because of that, it can be a little challenging to manage that.
Hey, I am not only a casual geek, I am the casual geek.
And it doesn't matter. Casual geek is still a geek. We don't judge. We just encourage people to join us in whatever capability they can.
Casual Geek May, the world's best pup, is not impressed.
No.
Thankfully making it through to the medio phase here, getting pretty low on MP, so that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just realized we've had folks sitting in setup, probably waiting for a interview. Hold on a sec there. Want to interview? I don't often commentate on speed gaming, so I forget that's a thing. It might
And
be in the middle.
Scratch Dragon finishing in 12th place with 2:06.37. Not a bad recovery time at all.
Fabulous, and we'll see if Scratch Dragon also wants to come in for an interview. Let's see what we have here. Dr. Spin is probably having a conversation with Kapahi, so I don't want to steal them away if they're in the middle of something, but it's always great to get the player's perspective and see how that goes. So I'm gonna, here we go, we're gonna steal away. And I'm gonna grab Dr. Spin too, so hello, welcome, welcome. And Scratch, you know what, I'm just gonna haul them all in. You're all in here now, welcome. Welcome, I've just pulled you all in since you're here.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yay! So tell us what you folks thought of that seed. I will note, Scratch Dragon, you went on a different path than everybody else, and sadly, that did not quite pay off.
Yeah, I figured it was one of two ways. It was either that you could go the conventional way and the crystal was going to be there, which it ended up being, or you could go to the moon and gamble that. I just gambled the moon and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it will make you all happy to know that Elmagus did the exact same thing you did, Scratch.
Oh, well, I figured that's what Magus would do, to be honest.
Where was the darkness crystal?
It was behind Twin Heart.
Okay, so me choosing to completely ignore the harp because I didn't want to do the cutscene paid off.
Yeah, and that often can do that.
Where was the pass?
Pass was you gave you went to go see Yang to see Sheila, who would give you the pan. You bop Yang, and you come back. You give her back the pass. The pan, it got you the pass.
Yeah.
So I was one step short. Great.
Yeah, but you had already walked through. It didn't take you long to walk through the moon anyways, and it looked like you took that opportunity to get some extra levels.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, the pathing was fine. It just didn't pan out with the crystal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did anyone find a good Cecil sword other than the Avenger?
No, I actually dropped Cecil when I got to the moon for Kane, so I could Avenger him and use Sid as a agility anchor.
Okay.
Yeah, you're actually the only one who did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up finding the Defender, so I held on to my Cecil.
Oh, yeah. See, I also knew picking up Kane would slingshot him when I did the D machine, so he ended up being level 75.
Yeah.
I never went to the moon, so I never found Kane. I just rolled with Cecil and was kind of worried that I was going to get Avenger glitched. So I didn't know if starting with the Avenger would also make you just like not do anything ever.
Yeah, I can.
But Cecil did his part.
Oh, very well. But you all did very well and completed all that. Any last kind of words and feelings about that seed?
I need to work on my early game because it took me forever to act. Once I got going, I was in great shape, but it took me about a few ages to actually get out of like the start to get a little bit rolling.
Yeah,
we've all been geared up for these league qualifiers too, so kind of getting out of that mode and switching gears, you know.
Yeah.
It's the S2 flag that's really holding people back right now, because everyone's been doing the league qualifier flags, which is a T4 S3. You find all the best gear and you can get all of those attack items in the shop. When you put it down to T3 S2, you don't get quite as good gear, and you can't buy any of that good attack stuff. You have to, find a couple pieces of gear and kill a couple bosses to get some levels.
Yeah. Which is especially hard when you have Rosa and Edward, and your best weapon, your best option for damage is the Dancing Dagger.
Hey, that Dancing Dagger did work.
Yeah,
it did.
I didn't find the Dancing Dagger till late, but I got a couple of Grimoires, and I got some really lucky Bahamut's.
Yeah, my Grimoires felt like being Shivas. Which did work. Words are hard. Did its role, but any Grimoire that's not Odin, I take as a victory.
And no chocobos tonight.
I'll even settle for a chocobo, just no Odins.
Yeah. Well, thank you, all of you, for volunteering to be restreamed this evening and for doing so well. Really appreciate that.
Oh, well, I'll be sure next time you are doing the restreaming, I will take like 8 hours. I will
appreciated.
I will turn on encounters. I'll turn the battle speed to minimum. We'll just have a nice. I'll hold down the Y button, so I'm just having a nice stroll through the game.
Oh no.
By hour 4, the stream will just be me snoring.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be like, excuse me, nap time. What's this commentary you speak
of? By hour
of?
4, I'll just accept the invite and do commentary over my own run over speed gaming.
They got Earth Crystal, I think.
Let me know so I can sign up for commentary. I have some cookies I need to make, so.
See if you need to do baking, then you can do that during one of my runs where I'm just holding the Y button and just waltzing through.
Oh no! Well, thank you so much for all coming in for an interview, and we will definitely talk with you all later.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, and thank you to all of our viewers for coming out. And Dave, thank you for commentating with me. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you as well, Natara. I had a lot of fun, and we definitely want to direct you all over to our race in progress right now for our league tournament proper on RPG Limit Break. It is in progress right now, so definitely would recommend if you want to get some more of this action to go check that out.
Yes, so thank you so much, and tune in again next week. We will be doing this on the same bat time, same bat speed gaming, one of the channels. Can't guarantee which channel until right before, but yeah, come and check it out and maybe even join us.
Vampires are the only item we can find.
So thank you so much to everyone. Good night.